Hello again and welcome to Just for Men Footy Flashbacks. Today we're going to turn back the clock and the dust to 1973 for a highly entertaining grand final played between Richmond and Carlton. It was the second consecutive year these great rivals played off for the flag. John Nicholls' Blues humbled Tom Hafey's Tigers by 27 points the previous year and were favourites again to do it after beating Richmond in the qualifying final. 117,000 fans packed into the MCG to see the likes of Bartlett, Burke, Hart, Sheedy, Stewart, Jesselenko, the flying doormat Bruce Doull, Southby, Nicholls and Walls fight it out for the premiership. And to help us remember it all, Neil Kearney is with two men who helped decide the 1973 grand final.
Well, we're with two cult figures from the 1970s who both played in the 1973 grand final. Brian the Whale Roberts of Richmond and Vin Catoggio from Carlton. Now, Vinny, the Italian community loved you. I mean, what was it like being a cult figure for those people?
Yeah, look, I think Carlton pretty much was an Italian community, and when I started playing, everyone in the streets would, welcome you and, be calling out your name, even though I was only pretty young.
You'd even get invited to functions and stuff, didn't you?
Yeah, look, I got invited to plenty of Italian functions, not knowing why I was there, just because I was Italian, playing for Carlton. And there were many times I got presented like some sort of a trophy, but the inscription had just been Catoggio. So I don't know why that was there, but I think they were just proud of,
It was just the trophy for being Vinny.
That's right.
And Whale, what was it like being the Whale? You've traded off it ever since.
Well, I got stuck with it. Barry Richardson put it on me. Everybody in a football club.
Why would they call you the Whale?
Well, pre-season, I went down to the supporters, Keith German's place in Rosebud, and he had a swimming pool. Anyhow, I jumped in and the water jumped out. And my wife at the time said, Barry said, "You look just like a so-and-so whale." And she said, "Don't call him that." And that was it.
That was it.
Bones said, "I've got it." And of course, he said, nobody knows me as Brian Roberts. It's all whale this, whale that, so.
Well, we're sipping Lardo here in Melbourne's Botanical Gardens, and just over there is the famous tan track where Richmond have always done their training, their pre-season training, their testing. I mean, how would you go around the tan Whale in those days?
I've never been around it.
but didn't Richmond used to train around there all the time?
Well, they did. I used to try and sneak in the duck pond. I've never run it completely, ever.
And would the coach at the time, Tommy Hafey, would he have known that maybe you didn't get round there?
Did he? No, did he? No. It's the worst thing I ever did, really. I should have bloody run it, because he made life unbearable. He just used to give me twice as much in case of. Oh, those days, it was different altogether.
But Tommy would turn a blind eye sometimes to your liking for a beverage?
Never. He burned down every pub in Victoria if he could, the little bastard. I'm telling you.
Would you actually be tempted to have a drink on a Friday night in those days?
Of course. It was different. At different times. Now it's all, it's a different game, big money and all that, but, we'd smoke at half-time. We'd get the boots, tell her to give us a couple of fags, and even three-quarter time we'd pinch one off him. Imagine doing that now in the grand final.
Well, you were only 19 at 1973 grand final, and that was only your third game of league football, and the first two were only a few minutes each.
Yes, yes, Neil. The first game I played was against Collingwood, and I ran onto the ground and the siren went within about 2 minutes. Didn't even touch the ball. I think I had a shower that night. The second game was against South Melbourne. I actually played the last quarter, and during that game was the first time I kicked the goal in league football. So that was my taste, and then the grand final.
How'd you sleep on the eve of the grand final? When you know you're coming up against the Whale and Neil Baum and Robbie McGee and...
Yeah, well, my biggest thought was I was playing on Kevin Bartlett, and I idolised him, and I thought, geez, he's a bloody champion. How am I going to keep up with him? But I played that game probably 20 times that night, and I reckon I was drained by the time I got up in the morning,
Well, you in 1972, Richmond had been beaten by Carlton in that highest scoring grand final. That would have been a big motivation. I imagine Graham Richmond would have mentioned that a few times.
Well, it was. I know that after we lost it, we went back to this joint for a celebration, and Tommy chucked the dummy and, said, well, this is not on, he's on. And so we just boiled and boiled and boiled all summer.
We'll come to the 1973 grand final now, and about 4 minutes in, she's on for young and old, as Lou Richards would say, and Big Nick's going out to take a nice lead, and Laurie Fowler, who was playing on you at the time, Vinny?
Yes, I was on the ball at the time.
You were on the ball?
Yeah.
But I think you were both pretty close to that incident.
I was about 10 feet, 15 feet away.
Big Nichols is there, up it goes, Nichols is down!
The lights went out for Big Nick from that moment on.
It was just, Laurie didn't mean to do it. He was just completely unsighted and so determined to get the ball, he hit him with his shoulder and virtually stunned him.
It's hard to say just how groggy Nichols would be after that one.
And he just fell down. I think it was psychological.
Well, the first quarter was quite a battle. We're going to look at highlights of the rest of the game, but at quarter time, Richmond is 3-5, Carlton is 2-2, and we're going to talk to you guys later on, but let's have a look at some highlights from the 1973 grand final.
From the bounce, Jones was up high, forcing it forward. Sproul comes through. So too does Dixon, but he couldn't take possession of the ball. Woods there. Francis Burke intercepts. He runs into the centre of the ground. A long kick from Burke up towards half forward. Coming across, it goes straight past the pack. Barn grabs the ball. A hand pass on to Carter. And Carter puts it right through. Full points indicated by the goal umpire.
Bounce in the centre. Jones gets a tap away now out towards the flank on the outer side. Through comes Robert Walls. He's grabbed and grabbed too high. Now get a free. Oh! Well, it's a 30-metre penalty now. A 30-metre penalty.
He's not beyond kicking it either, Mike.
Walls from a long way out, but it swings out towards the pocket. There'll be a mark paid. David Dixon. Got a clear line to goal, although he's on an angle. He kicks, it's right through. No worries. And at the 10-minute mark in the second quarter, the scoreboard reads Richmond are 5-5-35, Carlton are 5-3-33, 2 points the difference.
Coming across is Stewart and Hall. Stewart takes the ball, steadies play up for the moment. A long kick by Stewart down towards the pocket, where it's Southby and Barnes, punched away by Wade and Southby. And Southby held high. This one too high. Southby's a little seedy too. He's very seedy. I'd say Southby does not know where he is at the moment. 2 points between the sides. As Roberts is up in front, gets it down, it's taken by Baum. His kick smothered. Coming up.
He's gone. Well, you saw it. You don't need any comment from us.
Right down to the half-forward line. It's Carter there with Byrne. Byrne punches it away. It's taken by Dool. Dool runs in towards centre half-back, into the centre of the ground. A beautiful pass. Hits Mackay right on the chest. He wastes no time at all. Goes straight down to the half-forward line. Jezelenko from behind. Couldn't get up off the ground. As Hall comes through, uses his pace. Swings it around. A great goal by Kevin Hall. His second. Hall's second goal, and the difference is only 1 point as Carlton go to 6-6 with Richmond on 6-7.
Kick to be taken there by Rex Hunt. Hunt's kick now coming on the member stand flank. The players set themselves. Robert Walls is in that lot, still went up a mile, couldn't come out with it. Mackay just crashes his way up, but look who smothers the kick. Full of courage, Francis Burke. A great effort. He brushes Jezelenko aside. Burke is still going. A hand pass over here towards Stephen Ray. Stephen Ray over to Carter. Good football from the Tigers. Kick going down forward. Cutting across is Pennell. Oh, this is beautiful stuff. Pennell close to the boundary line with this kick. It's touched inside, and a great mark taken by Wood. What highlight you're watching through Channel 7. Kick now going down forward once again, and the mark is taken there by Byrne of Carlton. Oh, Bobby, we're seeing some beautiful flashes of play.
You couldn't ask for more, Mike. As Byrne goes for the short one, it bounces in no man's land. Walsh couldn't get to the ball. It comes down where Stewart leads in the race for the ball. He's under pressure from O'Connell. O'Connell's there, so too is Croswell. Walsh comes out with the ball. Walsh balks one way, then the other. Now goes onto the left foot, swings it back towards Sheedy. It's punched away by Jones. Good defensive play. There's a pack forming as there's a hand pass comes out towards Pennell. Pennell runs towards the centre, the half-back flank position, but can't control the ball, and it goes over the boundary line, and another throw-in will result. Ian Stewart copped a heavy knock that time in going for the mark, and he's a little bit sore at the moment as we see Jones and Roberts jostle position. Roberts gets the ball down, Crane comes through, and it'll be Crane's free kick as he was held too high. Gary Crane playing a great game so far today. Crane drives the ball towards the half-forward line where we see Walls outmanoeuvre McGee. Great mark. And McGall goes on quickly, puts it towards Clay and Davis. It comes through to Hunt. Hunt forces the ball forward but couldn't control it. Nichols comes through, takes possession, a hand pass forward by Nichols. Nichols is still going, kicks the ball off the ground, but it's intercepted by Carter. Carter drives the ball wide to the half-forward flank as Stephen Ray leads Croswell in the race for the ball. It's close to the boundary line as Ray's there with Croswell. Ray kicks the ball in play and he's held by Croswell, and Stephen Ray will get the free kick. Brent Croswell signalling that it wasn't quite right according to him. Ray with the kick. Long kick by Ray down towards the forward pocket. Balm was up, couldn't take the mark. It comes through towards Sheedy. Southbeck comes through, gets a punch forward. Almost Balm coming in, getting into the goal square, and Bartlett's there. Kick off the ground by Bartlett. He'll get a free kick, Bartlett. Bartlett will have the free kick right in the goal square. Umpire Robinson indicating to the Carlton players just why the free kick was. I'm certain you saw for yourself. 1 point between the sides as Bartlett right in the goal square.
With 7 points in just a few seconds. There it is, couldn't possibly miss that.
Bartlett's first goal. Richmond vice-captain Kevin Bartlett. His goal takes Richmond to 7-7 with Carlton 6-6.
Back in the centre, Ian Robinson bounces the ball. Players move in and up they go. Green is there, gets a tap away. Sproul runs into Crosswell. It's a chance for Sheedy to drive the Tigers forward. A nice hand pass over here towards Walsh. The Tigers playing good football now as the ball goes down towards Balm and Southby, but Hart cutting across, getting away from Dool, takes the mark. He's the type of fellow who could kick this. He's almost against the boundary line, some 55 metres out, and what's he done? What did I tell you? He's put it right through his second, and that was a beautiful goal, Bobby.
You've heard about captain's goals, Mike. Well, that was one to take Richmond to a 13-point lead as they go to 8-7 with Carlton on 6-6.
29 and a half minutes into the second quarter. Green and Jones going for it. Green gets a tap away here, goes to Pennell however. Pennell can't break clear, gets it across to Dool. Dool, his kick actually goes further into Richmond's territory. He was under so much pressure. Stephen Ray gets it over to Hart. Hart can't break clear. Carlton fans singing out, holding the ball. Crosswell, a free kick going to Stephen Ray. Ray's on the half-forward flank on the outer side. Oh, he's an enormous distance out. He couldn't possibly kick this. Ray's kick, though, going to the edge of the goal square. The big men fly. The ball bounces, but through comes Crosswell, relieving the pressure. Crosswell out towards a half-back flank. Through they come, taken there by Dixon. Woods after Dixon. Dixon tries one towards Walsh. Walsh gets an awkward bounce of the ball, and through comes Burke. Burke of Richmond, a long one. Down forward once again. Almost a mark to Balm. Balm screws it around. He's put it through. That's Balm's first.
Balm's first goal takes Richmond to 9-8 20 points lead.
Bobby, in this gruelling type of grand final, and that's what it is, that lead of 20 points is one heck of a big lead. Back in the centre, Jones gets a tap away this time. It's in Carlton's territory. Through comes McGee, however. McGee just can't see where to kick it, so he steadies and kicks down towards centre half forward. Dill couldn't hold him up. Through comes Byrne. It'll be Stewart's free. Stewart got a bit of a limp up. His left foot kick goes out towards the pocket on the outer side, and Byrne takes the defensive mark. Byrne of Carlton. Desperate stuff. Richmond winning in the battle of the desperados at the moment, and Michael Green on his own takes the mark. Richmond keeping the pressure up. They know that once they relax pressure, Carlton will whip back with a couple of quick ones. Michael Green, nice kick. Oh, it's a beautiful kick, not a nice one. Here's a go for Roberts and he's mark. The Wild. Richmond doing everything right at this stage, and they're keeping the pressure right on, putting it on and keeping the foot down. Roberts is on an angle. You can see not all that far from the boundary line. Oh, he went to pass it, I think. And now he's going to have a shot. He's only about 20 metres out. A straight kick will do, and it was. There's another one. And as you said, Bobby, a 26-point lead at half-time would be a distinct advantage, and they've got it now. Bounce of the ball in the centre. Up they go. Jones got his hand to it. Through came Crosswell. Couldn't get the run of it. There's Percy Jones still in there battling for the ball. Taken by Crosswell. Crosswell, a quick hand pass to Crane. Crane, a high one over the centre. Up goes Mackay. Burke was in there. A chance here for Jesselenko. Jesselenko punches it into a handy position for David Dixon. Dixon's kick. It's through. That's his second, and don't sell Carlton out yet. They're still in there.
Dixon, 2 goals in this term, 7-6 now Carlton, trailing Richmond 10 goals 8.
The bounce. It's an awkward one too, so up they go. O'Connell of Carlton tries to get the knock away. Walls gets a hurried kick in there. Mackay and Burke doing battle once more. Taken there by Bartlett. Bartlett, oh, beautiful footwork. Gets one high down towards centre half forward. Players fly, and it's Stephen Ray putting the ball further into attack. Up goes Roberts once again, and he's marked. Roberts has kicked one. He would be a good 60 metres out. Taking his time about it. This will have to be a great kick. He's certainly going for it. The Wild puts his boot into it, kicks into the man on the mark. Then wait, it's called play on. Taken by Green. Green of Richmond now, down to the edge of the goal square. A mighty pack flies. Nobody comes out with the ball. And a free kick has been plucked out of this. It's going
Stewart.
Richmond's way. Siren goes. Stewart will take his kick. Stewart has not put one through there. Oh, it was a mighty pack. And obviously, umpire Ian Robertson thought that Stewart had been held too high. Now, Stewart is 25 metres out, directly in front. Triple Brownlow medalist runs in, it's on its way, and it's a goal after the siren for the Tigers. And at half-time in the 1973 Grand Final, the scoreboard at the MCG reads Richmond 11-8, 74 to Carlton 7-6, 48.
Just for men then, and now time on Footy Flashbacks, and on the left is the famous afro of Vinny Catoggio, nicknamed the Cat, and it's easy to see why Vin was one of the most sought-after footy cards of the day, with quite a sizable following with the ladies. Well, time now to head back to the action to see the conclusion to the 1973 Grand Final between Carlton and Richmond.
Walsh, normally a long kick, should put it right into the goal square. It's a lovely kick from Walsh, right down to the teeth of goal. The pack up coming out was Hart, who couldn't quite get to it. Roy's Hart on the ground, he'll get the free kick and has the opportunity of making it 32 points to difference. Hart has kicked two. A vital kick, this one.
And listen to the Carlton fans, Bobby.
Roy's Hart directly in front, only 12 metres out from goal. Kick from Hart, right through the centre, and that makes it 32 points between the sides. A big break to Richmond as Hart kicks his third goal.
3.5 minutes into the third quarter. Jones coming in there. Roberts does battle with him. Jones taps it down to Walsh, but Walsh is immediately surrounded. The Whale, Roberts picks it up, sends it down into the forward zone. No mark there to Stewart, who seems to be struggling a bit, as O'Connell gets it to the half forward flank. And it's Richmond into attack now as Sproul puts his boot into it. It goes down into the pocket. Up they go, no mark to Baum. Stewart pushes the ball down. Baum gets it over to Stephen Ray. Ray to Stewart, and Stewart puts it through.
Stewart's second goal. Jones up high but couldn't quite get a clear knock. It comes through to Walsh of Carlton. Walsh blindly kicks the ball up the ground. Mike Green was there. It comes through to Francis Burke. Burke a hand pass to Wood, and Richmond again stream forward as Wood with a long kick down towards the square. Baum was up high, gets it back towards Roberts, and Roberts puts it right through the centre. Big Roberts' second goal. A point touched, I'm sorry. I did notice that one was touched.
So used to seeing goals, Bobby, coming from Richmond.
On the bounce, on the centre wing position, Members side of the ground. Mackay and Green. Green gets a knock over the back. Could have almost been a free kick as Gary Crane with great courage bursts through the pack, now drives the ball down, looking for Nichols. It's Nichols. It comes over the back. Chandler's there. Chandler swings around, makes no mistake, puts it right through the centre. A badly needed goal. A badly needed goal for the Blues.
Bounce in the centre, up they go again. Tap down goes to Mackay, lost sight of it, but there's Jesselenko coming through, twisting and turning. Alexander the Great kicks down forward, but McGee takes the mark in defence for Richmond. What a find this bloke has been for the Tigers. McGee's kick, it's a nice one to the half-forward flank on the member stand side, and the big whale goes up, he marks, gets it over to Bartlett. They're keeping the pressure right on the Tigers. Down forward, the pack flies, no mark, taken by Stewart. Stewart swings it around, puts it through, that's his third.
Stewart again showing what a magnificent player he is.
Could you see them putting on a burst, Bobby?
Not really, Mike. I think they're struggling from a fitness point of view, and I think Richmond have their tails up and they're confident and they will not relax the pressure. As we see Dixon put the ball back in towards centre half forward, Walls comes across, courageously stood his ground and takes them up. Robert Walls, 50 metres out from goal, directly in front, yet to score a goal. Walls kick. It's a beautiful looking kick. Full points. Walls kicks his first. Robert Walls, Carlton vice-captain, kicks his first to take Carlton to 9 goals 8 with Richmond 14-10.
Crane down into the forward zone. The big men fly, but it beats them all. Waiting back there is Francis Burke. Burke out towards a half back flank on the member stand side, and Kevin Sheedy is marked. Sheedy over towards Bartlett. Bartlett running loose there, coming through the wing position on the member stand side, in towards centre half forward. Up they go. Oh, ripper!
He hasn't paid it.
You're joking.
I'm serious.
Oh, Barley. Oh, Stephen Ray. He worked hard for that. Anyhow, Ray gets a tap down, but he couldn't get a kick in. Royce Hart is there, he's scragged, and will get the resultant free. Hart from the half-forward flank on the member stand side. Kicks deep into the forward zone. Waite knocks the ball clear. In they come. It's Wayne Walsh with it. Almost takes the umpire with him. Walsh kicks in and he's put it through.
Again, they answer whatever Carlton can do.
The VFL Grand Final 1973 final quarter, Carlton versus Richmond. We go into the final quarter as umpire Ian Robinson bounces the ball. Richmond 38 points in front and going well. Into attack once again. Bartlett puts it right down into the teeth of goals. Hall comes out there on top of the ball. There'll be a ball up. Carlton with their 19th and 20th men on. They've lost Southby and Cottagio has gone off. Well, Bobby Skilton, a tremendous performance from Richmond so far.
Oh, absolutely magnificent, Mike, as Jones gets a knock. Carter's bundled out of the way and Dill comes out with the ball. Dill's kick into the centre of the ground. Mackay was up high. It comes through where Walls leads in the race for the ball. Walls comes down to centre half forward. It's a long kick by Walls down to the square and it's touched. Touched by Hunt and through for only 1 point. And the ball quickly from one end of the ground to the other. Carlton may have been able to lift if Walls had been able to kick that goal.
They'll still be in there battling at the final siren, however, and who's to say they can't get up and win it? But the way Richmond are playing, full credit to them and their coach. By Jove, they're putting on a tremendous performance here. Well, Carlton depleted though. Jones there, but it's Roberts who gets a tap down. It goes to Bartlett. Bartlett, who's been in everything today, swings around, sinks his boot into it, drives into the wing position on that outer side. Hart is there. Dill's got hold of Hart. Hart pushes the ball forward, however, in comes Dill. Dill picks up and there's a bit of a punch on going there. The ball's on the half-forward flank. Bartlett knocks the ball cleverly away there. Down to the ground it comes, picked up and driven forward for the Blues into the scoring zone. Nichols goes up. The ball comes to Robert Walls. Walls swings it around. This is going to be a close one. Hit the post. Hit the post. Well, Bobby.
And certain Walls is saying at the moment, Mike, just what do we have to do?
They're trying desperately. Dick Clay about to kick out again. There's the scoreboard. Clay, another magnificent kick. The big men fly, nobody able to pull it down. Taken there by Quirk, who came on as 20th man. The ball down on to the ground. Crane comes out with it. Crane swings around. It's Carlton into attack once again. This is close. This is through.
A great goal by Crane.
It's a real hard, bruising, grueling game.
You've summed it up, Mike, as Jones gets a knock. It's taken by Croswell. Croswell goes for the short one, not a good kick. It's intercepted by Sproul. Sproul comes down, a hand pass from Sproul towards Bartlett, who's in everything since half-time. Bartlett with the free kick right on the centre wing position. Bartlett, quiet in the first half, but a magnificent player since half-time. And Bartlett's fitness, well, it's remarkable, the tireless way that Bartlett keeps going. Waite almost missed the mark in the sun, but his reflexes were such that he was able to get back after it. Takes the gamble, goes into the centre of the ground. And Wood lets the ball go. It comes through to Davis. Davis tries to get a hand pass forward, does so. Comes through again. Davis puts the long kick over the half-forward line. Coming across was Walls. Walls has the ball punched away. It comes through to Roberts. Roberts has bundled out of the way. It gets back to Quirk. Quirk comes through. Quirk's held too high. Too high. It'll be the kick to Quirk. 70 metres out from goal. Ryan Quirk, normally a magnificent kick, should put it right down to the teeth. The kick from Quirk, it's right down to the goal square. Dropping short, it's punched away by Burke, taken by Robert Walls. Walls hits it back, that's 4 points. That's his second. Walls' second. Has Carlton go to 11 goals 11, with Richmond on 15 goals 11. 4 goals between the sides. Can they come back?
Well, Carlton haven't got anybody to throw on. Richmond have still got McKellar sitting on the bench. There's the throw in. Mackay and Green go for it. Mackay taps it down to Walsh. Walsh kick goes right into the forward zone. A bit of nudging it on. Could be Fowler's free. Oh, Fowler was nudged right out, but it's paying Crane the mark. What did you think, Bob?
I paid the free kick to Fowler, Mike. Definitely, the ball was further than 5 yards away anyway.
Let's see now. Crane, some 45 metres out, sends it on its way and... oh, it's a goal! 1 gets into the final quarter.
From the bounce, Jones and Roberts jostle for position. Mackay spilling it, comes back to Jones. His kick goes straight up in the air over his head. Jesselenko comes across. He takes it and plays on. A long kick from Jesselenko towards the goal square. Hits the post.
It's the second time Carlton have hit the post in the final quarter.
Back to 3 goals. 3 straight kicks between the sides.
Just a little wide of centre half forward towards the outer side. Look at the mob around that ball there. Tap now goes to Mackay. Mackay kicks in towards the centre. The mark is taken there by Jesselenko. Jesselenko breaks clear, gets his kick into the half-forward flank on the member stand side. Here's a go. It's Francis Burke after the ball. Dixon comes through. Burke is held. Taken by Walsh, however. It's called play on. Walsh is going for a run. He gets his kick now to the half-forward flank on the member stand side. And a good mark taken there by Ray. Gets it over to Kevin Sheedy. Sheedy blasts away and puts it through for one behind. It'll take it back to 19 points the difference in favour of Richmond.
Carlton were magnificent in coming back. Not that I think that they've stopped, but I think Richmond have steadied and are applying enough pressure with players like Michael Green, who's just taken that mark. They've steadied and they're able to, hold Carlton at bay. Green at centre half forward has taken a number of marks today. He's been a player who's been a big occasion player for the Tigers. He's kicked one. This one's dropping short into the goal square. Up high, packing the players, kicked off the ground by Waite. Forced forward, Woos Hart comes out. Hart's kick swings back towards the goal. It's been close. Croswell's right on the line. And Croswell's taken the mark.
The absolute last line. You couldn't get them any closer than that. Croswell now goes straight up the centre. He's looking for Percy Jones. Jones doesn't let him down. A long hand pass by Jones. It's taken by Mackay. Mackay's going for a run. Now he takes his kick. It's a short one. Nobody able to take the mark. McGee comes in there for Richmond. The ball picked up by Hunt. His kick is smothered by Cannell. Cannell to Nichols. And Nichols. One behind. Thrills a minute. You're watching it on Channel 7. Quirk of Carlton. A hand pass, a short one over towards Jesselenko. Jesselenko runs into trouble, butters up, runs into Sheedy. Sheedy a hand pass towards Hart. In comes Byrne, he's close to the boundary line. Sheedy's in this lot also. Look, they're dog-tired, those blokes, but it's Hart coming out with the ball. He kicks forward, up they go. Barn will have another attempt. Stewart in a bit of trouble. Barn has kicked 1 goal, 3 so far in this grand final. Barn. It's on its way. The result. Cuts through, 1 behind. Well, Bob, they've come right back, Richmond, after that onslaught from Carlton. They've come right back and they're going on with it at the business end.
I think this is where their fitness is telling, Mike, as we see Sheedy all on his own. A number of Richmond players could have had the opportunity. Sheedy, a long kick from Sheedy, driving the ball right back up again, and Barn there again. Barn directly in front, 15 metres out.
Well, he's got to kick this one.
He's kicked 1-4. 21 points between the sides as Baum lines the ball up. Baum being very deliberate. Neil Baum. Kick from Baum. That's his second. Richmond's 16th.
Coming up to the 24.5-minute mark now. There's Tommy Hafey up there. He's on the phone. He's still giving orders.
Well into time on. Time running out for the Blues as we see Roberts and Mackay. Mackay up high, down to Chandler. Chandler's kick goes back the other way. Dixon coming across. Walsh comes over the top. Gray forces it forward. Walsh is still going. He's playing the ball in front of him. Still gets bundled out of the way. He must get the free kick.
Course.
No doubt in the world about that one. Wayne Walsh right in the centre of the ground.
29 minutes gone and 30 points the difference in favour of the Tigers. Looks like McKellar's coming on for Richmond. We wait for the kick to be taken. Umpire Robinson out there, seeing the ball delivered back to Wayne Walsh. Walsh between the centre and centre half forward positions. There's his kick going out to the pocket on the outer side, and O'Connell marks in defence for Carlton. O'Connell now immediately tries to get it to the half-back flank. Up goes Wood, spoiling an attempt by Quirk. Wood has it there, he's got nobody to get it to, and he just brushes his opponents aside. It's Sproul in command now. Sproul tries the hand pass. Over it goes towards Burke, who's on the forward line, but it's taken by Quirk. Quirk of Carlton back in towards the centre. Waiting there is the whale, Brian Roberts. He couldn't get away with it. Mackay of Carlton comes in, couldn't go anywhere. A chance for Kane of Richmond. He gets it over to Walsh. Walsh a long one into the forward zone. Dill takes the mark. Dill plays on immediately for the Blues. In towards centre half forward. Jesselenko's on his own. Here's a go. Jesselenko steadies. Kicks it down. Dick Clay waiting there. Takes a beautifully timed mark in defence. Clay plays on immediately, keeping that pressure right on the Tigers. Over here it comes towards Fowler. Fowler very coolly kicks that ball to the wing position. Sheedy is waiting there. He's met by Chandler. Sheedy recovers well. Kicks to the half forward flank on the member stand side. Mike Green comes out there. Traps the ball in soccer fashion. A hand pass by Green. It'll come off. Hart pushing the ball in front of him. The siren goes. Siren goes. Richmond are premiers for 1973. Richmond are premiers, and what a beauty. And the final scoreboard there reads Richmond 16, 20, 116. Carlton 12, 14, 86.
Well, Richmond by 5 goals, and we're with Brian the Whale Roberts and Vinny Catoggio, both of whom played in that game. Well, she was fair dinkum, wasn't it?
It was. It was a brutal grand final, really. I suppose for people.
Let's cut to the chase. How many years would Neil Baum have got if that was happened today?
Well, with the way that the surveillance is, he'd be out for the rest of the year. I suppose he'd probably do 10 weeks.
Front gets it down. It's taken by Baum. His kick smothered. Coming up.
He's gone.
I think that really rocked us when Southby went down.
Then he give it a weighty.
Yeah, well, I think Vinny came in and he didn't...
He's a very decent bloke, Neil Baum, but
great guy.
as a player he was different.
Well, I remember when it happened, just saying to Vin, that when he belted Southby, I was looking at Southby, and the Carlton doctor, I think it was, came over and looked at Jeff and looked at Barmy and said, "You're nothing but a mongrel, Barm." And Barmy said, "You're so-and-so next." And with that he jumped the fence, I think.
Well, you saw it. You don't need any comment from us.
Vinny, Big Nick's out on his feet. Jeff Southby's been downed. Carlton did well to fight it out.
Yeah, look, I think when you look at the final scores, yeah, we did. We had a lot of players not making excuses, but we had a lot of players, down that day.
They were injured, a lot of them.
Yeah, we had a lot of injured players go into the side. I think Jezza during that game was getting some needles, to numb some of his injuries. And some poor form, like even myself, I just couldn't get near the thing.
Just overwhelmed, weren't you?
Yeah,
But after that, I think you played 71 games for the Blues, a few games for Sydney, and a few games for Melbourne. What do you do with yourself now, Vinny?
I'm a painter. Little painting business.
Do you still?
Going.
I mean, the hair's not quite what it was. It's still plenty of hair compared to some of us. You were all hair once. It was the biggest part of you.
Yeah.
Do you still get recognised around town?
Yeah, it's quite nice at times,
Once a footballer, always a footballer?
Yeah, I suppose. Look, I don't know if they recognise me is because of my football or my hairdo, but it's nice that when people do come up and say hello. I love talking football to them.
Yeah. Well, in 1974, the following year, you played in the Premiership again with Richmond.
Yeah.
And then in 1975, Richmond got rid of you, traded you to South Melbourne for John Patura in that famous deal. You must have been shattered. I mean, Tommy Hafey still says it was the worst mistake Richmond ever made.
He made it.
Did Tommy make that decision, do you think?
Well, not being unkind to Tom, look, it was an embarrassment of riches at Richmond at the time.
They had too many big blokes?
Well, no, I think he
They had
might
too
have
many
thought
whales?
he might have thought I was a disruptive influence.
Right.
You know, so
But then when you left,
Yeah.
he reckons the spirit dropped out of Richmond. Certainly the...
well, the beer might have.
But you went to South, and I think you finished only 3 votes behind the winner
Yeah.
in the Brownlow that
Yeah.
year in Gary Dempsey, so there was still plenty of football in you.
Well,
How would you go now if you were to come out in the field?
oh, look, I think I'll be. I don't know whether I'll be able to put up with it, all the bullshit, you know. But
Well, all the scrutiny?
you know, yeah.
They'd
yeah.
make a headline now on every Saturday morning, whale was seen in this pub.
Yeah.
Instead of looking
I
for
mean,
speed
yeah,
cameras, they'd
I
be
mean-
looking for whale sightings.
They're doing all this thing about Nixon and that now. If they had a camera 38 years ago, they'd need 3 television studios chasing them around. Because it was all done then, don't worry, wouldn't have been.
Oh, for sure.
The Wild Boys at Carlton, they're famous for it, weren't they?
Oh, some of them.
Vinny, it wasn't the best game of your career.
No.
What's it like to remember the 1973 grand final?
It was a long time ago, and to be honest, it's not really in the back of my mind. Look, you know, you go through life and you have your ups and downs, and that was probably one of my downers.
And for you, Whale, it was one of your ups.
Well, it was, because after 72, which was a horrible summer to go through with, you know, trying to think to get back again, it was the epitome of everything, really.
Thank you, Whale, and thank you, Vinny. Great to recall the 1973 grand final with the both of you.
Thanks, Neil.
Good on you, son.
Ah, great stuff. They certainly don't make them like the Whale anymore. And there's no doubt Brian Roberts and Vinny Catoggio were 2 of the game's great characters. But then again, the 1970s was a whole different world for footballers. But what a great way now to get us in the mood for the modern-day Tigers battle with the Swans. Sunday footy is set to continue on 7 when Richmond meets Sydney. That's next from the MCG.